The simulation theory, it's interesting because I have entire presentations that I've done on this. I do, that's a 2-day program. And when we compare, if you look at the definition of a simulation and you look at the definition of life and our environment in our most ancient and cherished spiritual and religious traditions, the similarities are striking. They all say that this world is temporary, that we are here learning something because we're going to go somewhere else. That is what a simulation is all about. The definition of a simulation is that you have the opportunity to learn something new in a relatively safe environment that you will need when you get to the next environment. So whether you're an airline pilot learning how to land a Boeing 747 in crosswinds, you don't want the first time you do that to be with 300 people on the plane. Yeah. So you're in the simulator. Or if you're on the Martian surface or the lunar surface, these all happen in simulators. So yeah. the simulations, this is really interesting because simulations have a beginning and they have an end. They have rules that the person in the simulation must follow, and if you follow the rules, then the simulation gets much easier. And every simulation, you have a way to contact someone who is not in the simulation for advice and guidance. And when you look at the ancient traditions, they all say we have a start in the beginning, we have an end, this world isn't going to last. We're here temporarily. It's called the Maya in the Hindu traditions, that there are rules that we're learning while we're here, and that when we get into trouble, we can contact a presence outside of our known reality who has a perspective that we don't have.
That's God through prayer.
Well, it could be our higher self. It could be an angelic presence. It could be a relative who has passed. It could be, if you believe in channeling, a lot of people, when they're channeling, you're channeling a presence from another world. It could be God. Sure. So when you look at the parallels, they're very, very striking.
You're starting to convince me a little bit here.
Well, but the simulation, so here's the question. If we are in a simulation, why? What would be the purpose? And one of the answers to that is who benefits? Who benefits from a simulation? And the answer is the people that are in the simulation. So we are the ones benefiting. We have to assume that we're learning something here, right, that we are going to need when we get to wherever we're going.
Right.
And wherever that is, if you believe that this world is the Maya or is temporary. And so when we look at that, what are the themes, the general themes of everything that we're learning in our spiritual traditions, in the religious principles? Where's medical science leading us? And it all comes back to our ability to self-regulate our biology, the power of love, the power of the human heart to influence the body, the power of the human heart to influence the world beyond the body. So regardless, I think the simulation theory, we're now in the 21st century, and we're looking for a new vocabulary and a new language that has now caught up with the technology and where we are to help us make sense of our existence. And whether you believe that or not, whether you're talking about the old ideas or the new ideas, they all bring us to the same place. What are we learning? And what are the themes? And the themes that we see playing out in the world of love and hate, war and peace, our ability to transcend the great challenges of our lives, and the fact that we're not victims. We are given the ability to self-regulate our biology consciously. In a way, Brian, and no other form of life can consciously sit down in a moment in time and say, in this moment, I choose to awaken the longevity enzymes in my cells. I choose to enhance my immune response. I choose to access deep states of intuition. I choose to become more resilient to the change in my life. Other forms of life may do it instinctually. When the environment triggers it, we're the only form of life that can consciously say, in this moment, I choose to self-regulate, to do this because I choose, not because my external environment is driving me to do this. And this is a very, very powerful form of mastery. And that mastery is what we find in our most ancient and cherished spiritual traditions. When I study with the yogis, with the monks and the nuns and the abbots and the mystics and the shamans and the curanderos and the healers all over the world, and as different as they are from one another.
They access the same states.
And we have been led to believe that these are extraordinary states of human experience. I believe, and my colleagues, Dr. Joe Dispenza is a very good friend of mine, and we've had this conversation over meals many times. Bruce Lipton, a dear friend, the three of us work and present together.
You guys are the triad.
We all, yeah, we all believe, we each believe, and together we all believe that these are potentials that have simply been forgotten or maybe never realized in the broad general public. But this is our birthright. These are our potentials, and rather than being extraordinary states of consciousness, they are ordinary states that we've been conditioned out of through culture, through religion, through science, through power agendas over time throughout history. Because when we embrace these technologies, we are awesomely powerful beings.